Hello, researchers. So, we've talked about quantitative analysis. We've talked about qualitative analysis. What I've done is I've pulled together a simplified set of data and tried to put it in a way that will make it understandable if you want to process your data that you get back after your research results arrive. So, first of all, look across here at D. Look across at the columns D, E, F, G, H, etc., all the way to O. Now, when you're doing quantitative, what you have to do is you have to define each item numerically. So, what I did for the different levels of class, I gave them a number. So, what I did was I put over here a legend. Instead of going through the steps of actually doing it and you watching me do it, I decided to do it and then show you what I have accomplished. Here's my legend. I usually like to make my legend bold. Freshmen, I gave them a 1. Sophomores were 2s, juniors are 3s, seniors are 4s. Let's say that you had some that were grad students, you'd give them a 5. You had some that were high school students, you may want to just totally redo your numbering. And then in my majors, what I did was I um, gave each major other equal to 1. And so I just took from the data that I received. Undecided was an 8, and so forth. So all I received were these, um, the data of these majors. Therefore, I didn't have to give I didn't have to come up with a whole like 70 numbers for 70 different majors. Only those that I received. Then the answer to this question was, do you intend on graduating? One was a yes, no was a two. I mean, yes was a 1, no was a 2, undecided was a 3. Employment did the same thing, unemployed, full time, etc. What I have to do now is to go and replace all of these. So instead of actually doing it here, I wanted to keep the original data. I created a new sheet. The little plus down here that says insert sheet will allow me to create that new one. So when I created the new one, I applied the numbers and got rid of the words like junior, senior, management, economics, undecided, yes, no, full-time, part-time, unemployed, etc. And then down to the computers, laptop, and desktop. The rest of them are already numerical, so I don't have to mess with them. So let's switch over to sheet number 4 and see what I got. So here's what I have. My results looked like this. So now that I have these numbers, I actually have something to work with. Okay, now that I have something to work with, what I'm doing is I'm going over here to data, the data tab, and that gives me this option called data analysis. This is available on all PCs. It is available in the latest version of Excel for the Mac. Let's see, it is called 15. It's the 2016 version. I highlight all of this, data analysis. Well, what I want to know is I don't want a descriptive statistics on this one. I want to have the results that will tell me if there's a correlation between people that have a high GPA, let's say, and their employment, or GPA and their salaries. Let's see what we have. So I click OK, and it's saying, "Is this what you want?" I'm saying, "Yeah." Put it into a new worksheet. Ply though. Labels in the first row. And so I click OK, and there it is. And here's what it looks like in a larger print of, I'm sorry, correlation table. That on someone's GPA, there's a statistically significant difference. There's a statistical impact here between their satisfaction and their GPA. And that's how you find out. You go straight from here down to this one that's significant, and you go over to what is it related to. Okay, our salary is related to anything statistically significant. The closest it comes to is their class, which is kind of odd. Next is their major. Employment. Employment, there's a statistically significant impact. Here's one. That's perfect. Employment, and they intend on graduating. So you could interpret this data as saying, okay, so that means they're a serious person. They're employed, they intend on graduating. So they're a go-getter. Maybe you can say that. That this person, this kind of, the people that fall in this category are, there is a relationship between intentions to graduate and employment. What kind of relationship? We don't know. Is there a cause of being employed that they intend on graduating, or they intend on graduating, therefore they're employed? Or is there is it actually causation at all? Another one is this one, class and GPA. So I guess that could mean if you are a senior, or let's say, I'm sorry, let me go back on that one. If you're a freshman, you have a higher likelihood of having a good GPA. As time goes on, there's a higher probability that your GPA will reduce. Higher probability, not for sure. Another one is graduate intention in their class. Um, we don't really know how that's related. Let's look at graduate intention and GPA. I intend on graduating. I've got a good GPA. There's a relationship here. You can interpret this in any way. We have found some relationships between one and another. We don't know if one caused the other. So when it comes to your final data analysis, you have to do an interpretation of your data and say, okay, well, what I've got all this, but what does it mean? And that's when you will give me some kind of feedback that will, in your paper, the final part of your paper will be your findings, your conclusion slash discussion, and that's where you're actually saying that the researcher's interpretation of this is that, and then you explain. Um, this person uses a computer and social networking. They're highly correlated. Well, I would expect that to be. It's not 0.05, but it's close. Um, their social networking may be done online. Maybe that's what they consider social networking. So I hope this has been of some assistance to you. This will be something that you will print out or do a screenshot of. If you're not sure about a screenshot, it's Command Shift 4, and you just draw your screen like that. Insert that into your a Word document, into your a page in your appendix, and refer to it in your discussion and say, see appendix ABC, wherever you put it, to see the raw data. Okay, have a good day. God bless.